In a significant development within the realm of planetary defense, NASA has identified asteroid 2024 YR4, a near-Earth object that has garnered attention due to its estimated size and potential threat to our planet. Measuring between 130 to 300 feet 40 to 90 meters across, 2024 YR4 presents a low but noteworthy risk of impacting Earth on December 22, 2032. As astronomers track its trajectory through advanced observational techniques, they anticipate that the likelihood of an impact will diminish as new data are integrated into orbital calculations. NASA's Near-Earth Observations Program plays a pivotal role in monitoring such asteroids. By funding observatories worldwide, the program enables the detection and tracking of potentially hazardous objects. As new tracking data becomes available and new probability assessments are made, these results will be posted on the Sentry Risk List page and official statement clarified. The ongoing reassessment of 2024 YR4's impact probability underscores the dynamic nature of asteroid monitoring, where ongoing observations can lead to significant changes in risk assessments. In the event of an impact, the potential damage caused by 2024 YR4 would largely depend on its size and composition. An airburst is considered the most likely scenario for an asteroid of this size, particularly if it were to enter the atmosphere over an unpopulated region. Such an event would likely cause minimal damage, though a larger variant of the asteroid could lead to more severe consequences, including structural damage in urban settings. Current models suggest that an airburst occurring over the ocean would also be unlikely to generate significant tsunamis. The implications of these findings extend to the broader field of planetary defense. With an impact probability that has surpassed the 1% threshold, formal notifications have been sent to various U.S. government agencies and the United Nations Office of Outer Space Affairs in accordance with international protocols. This recognition emphasizes the importance of vigilance and preparedness in the face of potential extraterrestrial threats. As NASA continues to refine its understanding of 2024 YR4, the agency is also navigating significant organizational changes. Recent reports indicate that hundreds of NASA employees have accepted resignation offers as part of a government efficiency initiative spearheaded by the newly established Department of Government Efficiency (DOGE). This program, which allows federal workers to resign while retaining their pay and benefits until September 30, 2025, is part of a broader strategy to streamline operations across federal agencies, including NASA. The context of these resignations is compounded by concerns regarding the future of NASA's ambitious Artemis program, which aims to return humans to the moon. The potential loss of skilled personnel raises questions about the agency's capacity to meet its goals amid ongoing budget reviews and strategic shifts. Acting Administrator Janet Petro addressed the situation in a recent email, emphasizing the agency's commitment to complying with government directives while ensuring mission-critical functions remain intact. Critics have raised alarms over the potential conflicts of interest arising from the DOGE's leadership under Elon Musk, whose SpaceX company is one of NASA's largest contractors. Lawmakers have expressed concerns that Musk's influence could compromise NASA's integrity and operational effectiveness. U.S. Representative Grace Meng and other Democratic representatives have called for increased scrutiny of Musk's access to sensitive information at NASA, warning that such relationships could lead to conflicts detrimental to the agency's mission. As these developments unfold, the intersection of asteroid monitoring and organizational restructuring presents a unique moment in NASA's history. The agency's ability to respond to potential space threats while managing internal changes will be critical in shaping the future of its exploration and scientific endeavors. The next few years will be pivotal as NASA tracks 2024 YR4 and navigates the challenges posed by workforce reductions and budgetary constraints, all while maintaining its commitment to planetary defense and exploration. In a recent interview on CNN, NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams firmly refuted claims made by former President Donald Trump regarding their status aboard the International Space Station (ISS), Trump's assertion that the astronauts were abandoned by the Biden Administration ignited a wave of controversy, especially following comments from billionaire Elon Musk, who described the astronauts as stranded. However, the astronauts themselves emphasized that they do not share these sentiments, with Wilmore stating, "We don't feel abandoned, we don't feel stuck, we don't feel stranded." Wilmore's remarks came after a discussion with CNN host Anderson Cooper, who referenced Trump's comments made on January 28, where the former president criticized President Biden for what he perceived as a lack of support for the astronauts who had extended their stay on the ISS far beyond their initial 10-day mission. Williams echoed this sentiment, highlighting the extensive training they both underwent to prepare for various scenarios in space travel. "Being deployed for a little while is not unusual for any of us, and that's part of the game," she remarked, underscoring their readiness for the unexpected. Their extended presence on the ISS has been largely attributed to technical issues with Boeing's Starliner spacecraft, which was meant to return them to Earth. NASA had previously identified several technical challenges, including propulsion issues and helium leaks, leading to the decision to delay their homecoming. However, recent updates from NASA suggest that Wilmore and Williams may return sooner than anticipated, with plans for them to board a SpaceX Dragon capsule after the Crew 10 mission scheduled to launch on March 12. In a related development, NASA is simultaneously advancing its research into antibiotic resistance in space through a new experiment aboard the ISS. This initiative, known as the Genomic Enumeration of Antibiotic Resistance in Space Gears, aims to enhance health safety measures for astronauts and patients on Earth by detecting antibiotic-resistant bacteria. The experiment will involve astronauts swabbing various surfaces within the ISS to identify and analyze the presence of resistant bacteria, particularly Enterococcus faecalis, a common bacterium associated with hospital-acquired infections. As part of the GEARS initiative, NASA hopes to establish a rapid analysis system that could significantly reduce the time required for bacterial testing from days to mere hours. This capability could have profound implications for both space missions and terrestrial healthcare, as antibiotic resistance remains a leading global health concern, contributing to thousands of deaths annually. The GEARS experiment not only seeks to safeguard astronaut health during missions to the Moon and Mars, where medical resupply options will be limited, but also aims to provide insights into how such bacteria adapt to the unique conditions of space. "If we can do this in space, we can do it on Earth too," stated NASA microbiologist Sarah Wallace, emphasizing the dual benefit of this research. Both the astronauts' responses to political criticisms and NASA's scientific endeavors highlight the complex interplay between space exploration and global health challenges. As the agency continues to navigate the intricacies of human spaceflight and its implications for science and medicine, the upcoming Crew 10 mission and the ongoing GEARS experiment represent significant steps forward in both aeronautics and astronautics. As the world looks on, the return of Wilmore and Williams from their extended mission promises to be a pivotal moment, signaling progress in human spaceflight capabilities and the ongoing commitment to addressing critical health issues through innovative research. With their homecoming projected for March 19, attention will undoubtedly shift to the broader implications of their experiences and the data gathered during their time in orbit. In a recent interview, NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams refuted claims by former President Donald Trump that they were abandoned aboard the International Space Station ISS. The remarks came in response to Trump's comments on social media, which suggested that the astronauts had been left in space for an unusually long duration due to the Biden administration's actions. Trump's assertions were echoed by Elon Musk, whose SpaceX company is responsible for the spacecraft that will eventually bring the astronauts back to Earth. During the interview with CNN's Anderson Cooper, Wilmore clarified the astronauts' feelings about their extended stay at the ISS. "We don't feel abandoned, we don't feel stuck, we don't feel stranded," he stated emphatically. Both astronauts, seasoned space travelers on their third missions, emphasized their preparedness for the unexpected challenges of space travel. "We come prepared. We come committed," Wilmore added, asking for a shift in public perception towards their situation, advocating for the narrative of being prepared and committed rather than stranded. The backdrop for these comments is the astronauts' prolonged stay aboard the ISS, which initially was scheduled to last only 10 days. Complications arose when NASA discovered technical issues with the Boeing Starliner, the spacecraft meant to return them home. Following the identification of helium leaks and propulsion problems, the agency opted to delay the Starliner's crewed return flight. Currently, the astronauts are expected to return on March 19, 2025 aboard a SpaceX Dragon capsule as part of the Crew 9 mission. While the astronauts have faced delays, they have made the most of their time in orbit. Williams reflected on the situation during her interview with USA Today, noting that extended deployments are not unusual in space missions. Being deployed for a little while is not unusual for any of us, and that's part of the game, she said. Wilmore echoed this sentiment, focusing on the present challenges of ongoing scientific experiments and the operational maintenance of the ISS. This dialogue around the astronaut situation highlights the complexities of contemporary space missions. With increasing scrutiny from the public and political figures, the astronauts' responses serve as a reminder of the rigorous training and mental fortitude required in space exploration. As they await their return, Wilmore and Williams continue to contribute to the important work aboard the ISS, demonstrating resilience and professionalism in a time of uncertainty. Looking forward, the successful return of Wilmore and Williams will not only mark the end of an unexpected chapter for the astronauts but also signal a pivotal moment for NASA's future missions. As the agency navigates technical challenges with the Starliner and prepares for upcoming crewed flights, the experiences of these astronauts will undoubtedly inform future approaches to human spaceflight. Their commitment to their mission and the emphasis on preparedness will resonate as NASA moves toward a new era of exploration. NASA's Land Cover and Land Use Change (LCLUC) program has long served as a cornerstone for understanding environmental changes on Earth from a satellite perspective. This interdisciplinary initiative aims to provide periodic global inventories of land use and land cover, essential for simulating environmental processes and assessing the implications of changes in land use. Complementing this mission is the South/Southeast Asia Research Initiative (SARI), which seeks to enhance regional research and capacity building in land use and cover change science. The recent joint synthesis meeting of these two programs, held from January 1 to February 2, 2024 in Hanoi, Vietnam, highlighted the pressing challenges in collaborative efforts around land use in Southeast Asia. Bringing together 85 participants from various international institutions including NASA, the University of Maryland, and Vietnam's National Space Center, the three-day event focused on the critical impacts of land cover and land use changes in Southeast Asian nations. As urbanization, agricultural expansion, and environmental degradation continue to escalate in the region, the meeting underscored the need for interdisciplinary approaches to develop holistic understandings of land use dynamics. The gathering opened with remarks from notable figures such as Garrick Gutman, NASA's LCLUC program manager, and Mark Napper, the U.S. ambassador to Vietnam. They emphasized the importance of collaborative research in addressing climate change and land use issues, particularly in the context of the U.S.-Vietnam Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. Napper's comments resonated with the core goal of the meeting: to foster international cooperation on environmental challenges. The sessions were structured to facilitate knowledge sharing and collaboration, with presentations covering a range of topics related to land use and cover change. A striking presentation by Garrick Gutman illustrated how urbanization in Southeast Asia is not just a local issue but a significant driver of global environmental change. He highlighted the consequences of population growth and urban expansion, including deforestation, shifts in agricultural practices, and increased flooding risks due to reduced natural absorption capacities. As the meeting progressed, participants explored specific case studies that demonstrated the diverse factors influencing land cover changes across the region. For example, Sun Niyam from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory presented a synthesis study examining the rural-urban continuum in several Southeast Asian countries, employing synthetic aperture radar data to track land use transitions. This analysis revealed how rapid urbanization and agricultural conversion create complex, often unpredictable impacts on both the environment and local communities. One of the key themes that emerged was the necessity of integrating remote sensing technologies with socioeconomic data to inform effective policymaking. Presentations highlighted the importance of high-resolution satellite data in monitoring land use changes and the potential of new methodologies to enhance accuracy in environmental assessments. For instance, the introduction of advanced algorithms such as time-feature convolutional neural networks is transforming how researchers analyze land cover changes, enabling them to tackle the unique challenges posed by Southeast Asia's rapidly evolving landscapes. The meeting also delved into the intersection of land use with agriculture and water resource management. Chris Justice presented on the GeoGlam initiative and NASA Harvest, both of which leverage satellite data to enhance food security and agricultural sustainability. The discussions pointed to the urgent need for adaptive management practices in agriculture, particularly in light of climate change impacts such as salinity intrusion and altered precipitation patterns affecting crop yields. By the meeting's conclusion, participants engaged in synthesis discussions that sought to outline future directions for LUCC research and policy. The consensus underscored the critical role of robust data in guiding sustainable land use practices and the importance of building partnerships across governments, research institutions, and local communities. As environmental pressures intensify in Southeast Asia, the insights gained from this joint synthesis meeting will be vital for shaping future research agendas and policy frameworks. The collaborative efforts of the LCLUC and SARI programs represent a proactive step toward addressing the complex challenges posed by land use changes while fostering resilience against climate impacts. Continued engagement in such interdisciplinary dialogues will be essential as nations navigate the delicate balance between economic development and environmental sustainability in the years to come. In an unprecedented shakeup that casts doubt on the future of NASA's Artemis program, the agency has lost 4 key senior officials associated with its lunar exploration initiatives. The departure of these influential figures, including Jim Free, the associate administrator who has been a vocal proponent of the Artemis missions, raises significant questions about the viability of returning humans to the Moon, a goal set for 2024. This turmoil coincides with a shift in priorities within the agency as prominent voices, including those of former President Donald Trump and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk, suggest that Mars exploration should take precedence over lunar endeavors. The exodus of these officials from NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center adds to an already precarious situation. With potential mass layoffs on the horizon and continued criticism of the Space Launch System (SLS), NASA's flagship rocket for the Artemis program, uncertainty looms large. The SLS has been plagued by delays and cost overruns, leading critics to label the program as inefficient and more focused on job creation rather than achieving tangible results. Musk's scathing remarks about Artemis as a jobs-maximizing program have further fueled speculation about its future, especially as the agency's budgetary constraints come into sharper focus. As these developments unfold, billionaire entrepreneur Jared Isaacman, recently appointed as the next NASA administrator, has remained notably silent on the status of Artemis. His recent comments seem to pivot towards Mars, where he emphasized the importance of revolutionary technologies that could facilitate missions beyond the Moon. "When I see a picture like this, it is impossible not to feel energized about the future," he tweeted, referencing a striking image of Mars taken by NASA, indirectly suggesting a shift away from lunar objectives. In stark contrast to the turmoil at NASA, Heliospace Corporation, a subsidiary of Helio Corporation, has made significant strides in bolstering its expertise by recruiting 3 former senior engineers from NASA and JPL. Brian Childs, James Cooper, and Sean Thompson bring decades of experience from landmark projects, including the Mars Sample Return Mission and the James Webb Space Telescope. They have been respected colleagues of ours for decades through many space missions, and we are thrilled to now have them as a part of the Heliospace team, remarked Joe Pittman, the company's co-founder and CTO. This infusion of talent reflects the ongoing demand for expertise in space exploration, even as uncertainty clouds NASA's immediate objectives. Meanwhile, the Curiosity rover has delivered groundbreaking findings that could transform our understanding of Mars. Recent evidence suggests that ancient ponds and lakes may have existed on the planet's surface, potentially challenging long-held beliefs about its desolate landscape. The discovery of ripples resembling those formed by water movement on Earth hints at a vastly different Martian environment billions of years ago. Such revelations energize the scientific community as they contemplate the possibility of human exploration on Mars, further complicating the narrative surrounding NASA's current lunar ambitions. As the U.S. Space Agency navigates through a tumultuous period, the implications of these departures and changing priorities become increasingly pronounced. The Artemis program, once a symbol of renewed lunar exploration, now faces an uncertain future as focus shifts toward Mars. With recent developments including potential layoffs within the SLS contractor Boeing and Isaacman's impending confirmation hearing, the coming months are likely to bring pivotal decisions that could redefine the trajectory of U.S. space exploration. As stakeholders await clarity, one thing remains certain: the landscape of space exploration is rapidly evolving, and the race to Mars may just be gaining momentum at the expense of lunar ambitions. NASA's ambitious plans to return humans to the Moon are facing significant uncertainty following the announced retirements of 4 senior officials closely tied to the Artemis program. This shakeup, which includes the departure of Jim Free, the agency's associate administrator, raises questions about the future of lunar exploration at a time when the space agency's priorities appear to be shifting. The departures of these key figures, reported on February 20, 2025, come on the heels of an already tumultuous period for NASA as it grapples with the challenges of the Artemis program. Free, who has dedicated 30 years to NASA, played a pivotal role in the success of Artemis I, the first integrated test flight of the Orion spacecraft and the Space Launch System SLS rocket. His retirement, alongside 3 other senior staff members from NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, amplifies concerns regarding the agency's trajectory as it seeks to return to the lunar surface. In a statement reflecting on his career, Free expressed gratitude for the opportunity to contribute to NASA's mission, emphasizing the agency's commitment to tackling engineering challenges and ensuring safety in space exploration. However, with his exit and the uncertainty surrounding who will fill these roles, the viability of NASA's plan to send astronauts back to the Moon in the coming years remains questionable. Originally slated for 2024, the Artemis II mission has already been postponed to 2026, with the subsequent Artemis III mission pushed to 2027. The evolving landscape of U.S. space policy is further complicated by the recent appointment of Jared Isaacman, a billionaire entrepreneur and space enthusiast, as NASA's next administrator. His public silence on the Moon program and recent emphasis on Mars exploration raise eyebrows about the future of Artemis. In a recent tweet, Isaacman highlighted the potential of groundbreaking technologies to facilitate missions to Mars, suggesting a possible pivot in focus away from lunar ambitions. Adding to the uncertainty, Elon Musk, whose company SpaceX has secured billions in contracts with NASA, has publicly criticized the Artemis architecture, labeling it inefficient. Musk's influence alongside Isaacman's leadership raises concerns that the Moon could be deprioritized in favor of Mars missions, reflecting a broader shift in governmental and corporate priorities regarding space exploration. Amidst this backdrop, the NASA Engineering and Safety Center (NESC) is moving forward with critical assessments of technologies necessary for future lunar missions. An upcoming Lunar Cold Electronics Assessment workshop scheduled for April 30 and May 1 aims to address challenges related to electronics that can withstand the Moon's harsh environment. This workshop represents an effort to ensure that technological advancements are not sidelined even as personnel changes occur. As NASA navigates this tumultuous period, the agency's future will be shaped by the outcomes of these personnel changes, the evolving goals of its leadership, and the broader political landscape. With significant positions unfilled and a shifting focus towards Mars, the Artemis program must adapt to ensure it remains a viable pathway for returning humans to the Moon. The coming months will be crucial in determining not only the fate of Artemis but also the United States' position in the next phase of human space exploration.